Hello and welcome to the first video tip in the Adobe Connect series. Adobe Connect is a great tool to connect with colleagues for trainings, meetings, presentations, or work sessions. I recommend creating a room in Adobe Connect that will always be open to you so that you can easily access it whenever the need arises. So here are a few quick steps you need to do to set up the room. First, you're going to go to connect2.sccoe.org. That 2 is a number 2, so CONNECT 2.sccoe.org. Now I will bring you to this screen. You will enter it using the same username and password you use to log on to your SCOE computer. So for me, it would be gpitzer and then my password to log in. When you log in, you'll see your initial screen here shows all the rooms that you've created. And up here it says Create New. And next to it is a button for Meeting. So you will want to create a new meeting. The information here you need to do is first you need to choose a name for your room. It can be something as simple as your name. For example, Greg Pitzer's Meeting Room. Now, next thing is probably one of the more important things is the custom URL. You want to pick something that's going to be easy to remember. So I would, for example, suggest trying your first initial last name, same as your username. For me, it would be gpitzer, like this. It's an easy URL for me to remember. The rest of this information here, you don't need to worry about. You don't need to worry about the date and time. It will not affect access to the room. The last part you do need to concern yourself with is how others will access the room. I suggest either the second or third options here under Access. The second option will allow anyone to sign in, but they will not actually enter the room until you approve them. This prevents anyone from coming into your room. However, you do need to be present to accept them. If you have a large number of people joining, this can become tedious. The second option is actually the third one here, the last one. Anyone who has the URL for the meeting can enter the room. You can always disconnect someone if they're not supposed to be there, but this makes it easier for you to manage when you have a large number of people. So, for example, I will choose the second option here. Only registered users and accepted guests may enter the room. Don't worry about anything else on this page. The audio conferencing information is not relevant for our system. If you're the only host or presenter, you can click Finish down at the bottom at this point. If you have a colleague from the county office who is co-hosting with you, you'll want to proceed to the next page where you can add them. So click on the Next button. And when you do this, it will bring up a window where you can search for your colleagues. So, for example, I may be doing a presentation with my colleague, Elizabeth. So I'd want to add her. I will click on her name and then click here to add. And you can now see she is a participant in my room. However, I want to raise her to a presenter or a host. So I will select her name and select permissions and make her a host. And now that I've added the people to my participant list, I can click Finish. When you hit Finish, you will see the URL to your room that you can send out to anyone you want to connect with. For me, that would be http://connect2.sccoe.org/gpitzer. This room will always be available to you. If you quickly need to access an online place to meet, you're all set and you do not need to repeat these steps again. So that's all for our first Adobe Connect tip. Check back in 2 weeks for your next tip. Have a great day.